G-Hole, 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 G-Hole. Honestly, your team's the best. Let's say one thing. Ari with that trade mess has fixed your team's vision. You'll destroy everyone like butter, possibly winning your division and put T-Hoss in the gutter. But watch your back, son, as the trade goblin is coming up. He'll decide who is number one in Donnie's division. I never thought you'd be the one that had a roster as hot as the sun. However, no ups and downs, and that is why the fear grows right now. If you want me to say I win this week, if you want me to say Chase doesn't scare me, if you want me to say Algier handcuffs this week, you won't hear me say I won't say I win this week. No. No, no. G-Hole, G-Hole. Right. Week 11. G-Hole. I bow down. Welcome everybody to the Midnight Ride. That's right, we are here for Week 11 action, and you know, your boy's 8-2. Tough loss this week. What are you gonna do? I mean, you play McLaughlin because you have nobody else on your team. Even if I played Singletary, I still lose by 10 or 15. So, bye weeks hurt. Should have made a trade. Had some opportunities, but it's all right. We move on. We move on to a new week. Week number 11 against G-Hole. Jordan's team is a monster. I am a little afraid, as you can tell from the last one. I'm not very confident this week that I'm going to win just because I've got some things going on. Cade's out this week. I still don't have a really healthy Cooper or any, wide receiver wise. I'm really just banging it for hoping for the playoffs. So as soon as I get to the playoffs, I think my team will be as good as Jordan's, maybe, possibly. But hopefully, first round bye. That's the goal. And let me show you how that's going to happen as we recap this week and get into next week. All right, let's go into last week. As we talked about before, huge week for the Razor's Edge with Kyle Murray having 41 points. That was the killer for me. But, Pearson having 20 with a touchdown. My quarterback's playing well. Allen and Purdy having decent games. Allen pretty weak, but that's all right. Sutton have a good game. Downs. I mean, overall, my team, other than, of course, McLaughlin, having a pretty good week. Tough loss. 165, 181. His team overperformed a little bit. My team underperformed, especially because I didn't have a second running back. But, we have, of course, best word that I use all year, digress. Let's look into this week. Yeah. I don't really want to talk about it too much. I mean, look at this. It's all about Darnold and Wilson. They have good weeks against Baltimore's terrible defense and Tennessee's terrible defense. I'm kind of screwed. Chase against the Chargers, that could be helpful. Chargers are a little pesky. Jefferson, like we talked about, defense, not good. Robinson against Denver, that's going to be a good help for me. Denver's defense is very, very good against the run. Walker against the run in San Francisco. Tough. And New England just makes games dirty, so Kupp maybe not have a good game. As we move to my team, good matchups. Huge game. Well, a little bit of an edit. Made some deals. Maybe we'll go better. Took a lot of my depth away, but got a number one receiver in A.J. Brown, and this went from a blowout to a possibility against the man we call G Hole. So hey, we'll take it. We'll take some wins. We'll take some losses. We'll take them all. But this week, maybe I win. We'll see. And now it's time for Deep Thoughts by Little Willie. It has been a whirlwind for Jordan, who on draft day 3 years ago was just home watching a bunch of idiots set up for the draft. Now he's a G-hole forever. He didn't even put up a complaint or a tiff. Interesting. And that was Deep Thoughts by Little Willie. And now it's time for the Midnight Playoff Update. That's right. Week 11, that means we have only 4 weeks, including this week, to go. And, you know, the regular season has been fleeting so far. As you see from the top of the board, Midnight Ride is in first at 8-2, Cream Pie at 7-3, 6-4 for Truck Stop Glory Hole, Martian Law at 7-3. Kind of weird why that is the way it is. We'll talk about why in just a second. But, you know, Robert's team, 2-3, 5 wins in a row. Amazing streak for Robert. Hopefully that stops this week, you know, just for my division settings. We've got 5 teams at 5-5 with the Razor's Edge holding that playoff spot technically because in last place, he has more points. He is actually the number 7 seed. That's Adi with Campbell's Soup. But if you take 12 points away, Razor's Edge is in 7th spot, and Campbell's Soup would be out of the playoffs. Right now, as it turns out, House of Prism, Campbell's Soup, they are both been eliminated from the top seed and winning their division. Magic Skull Bus, they are out from the top seed, but it's weird to say this, they could still somehow win the division. So, interesting or not, even though he's 0-3, I don't think that's really possible. But he still can make the playoffs. He's only 60 points out. The cool thing is, look at all this. Like, everyone is so tight. Anyone can get the top 7 spot. And anyone from 5-5 can be 6-5 and move on. And anybody can have a really tough last couple of weeks. But from the standings, we can see that this is the current playoff bracket with Martian Law and D-Haas going toe-to-toe first round. What a great matchup that would be. Truck Stop and Gee, wow. Cream Pie and Razor's Edge, crap. How that game is even apart. Really, that Razor's Edge is going to be replaced by Adi, so, you know, easy first round probably for Victor, whoever's the number 2 seed. But to take the Midnight Ride, who's the bye, and give him either Martial Law or D-Haas, nah, don't want it. So I'm hoping that something will change very soon, and we will see a little bit of a mix-up in this playoff bracket. How it goes as far as if you look at the playoff bracket and like the actual ties and why there's people here, it shows that Has-Beens and Elderly Gangbang is broken head-to-head, with Has-Beens being the clear edge. Razor's Edge and All Hail Washington is broken because Razor's Edge beat them. The Guillotine, Elderly Gangbang, Razor's Edge, All Hail, you know, that is a 5-way tie with Has-Beens advancing on points. If we look at points, advances Guillotine in a three-way tie, and then a 2-way tie. Razor's Edge has the 2-way on Elderly Gangway, and then if it ever came down to it, House of Prism has a head-way tie on Campbell's Soup by their head-to-head matchup, even though that's probably not going to mean anything as far as the standings go. But as you can see, it is really shaping up for an impressive last 4 weeks of the season. Taking a look at the current standings, here in this division, my division, we have the Midnight Ride is in first, but only 1 game lead on Martian Law, who's the number 2 team. Well, they're actually the number 4 team. Weird scenario there. Truck Stop Glory Horde that did beat Martian Law and Has-Beens is at 6-4. And then, of course, Cream Pie at 7-3 with 2 5-5 teams. Kyle, we thought, was, of course, free real estate, is no more at 5-5. He has a chance at the playoffs, and good for you, Kyle. Hopefully you make a trade or two just to improve your team. Don't think you will. You know, maybe you will. Maybe you will. But going into this week, I'm excited for the playoffs because I got to win at least one. Win one, I'm in. I know that. Hopefully, you all now know it. And we'll have another playoff update going into week 12. All right, week 11 is almost in the books. Big week this week for playoff implications. You've got, of course, Martian Law versus Razor Edge. Razor Edge definitely needs to win. Martian Law needs to lose. I think that's just to me. Like, I just think he needs to lose. You've got, of course, we got a 5-5 matchup, which I'm excited about. Cannot wait to see what Kyle versus Guy is going to look like. Two 5-5 teams. Guy could lose and be out. He can give me a playoff spot. It'd be great. You could help me win the division. I would love it. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Help me win the division. You can help me. Isn't that great? I would love it. Also, Kyle, hopefully you got the joke about, not making any trades after you made 2 trades already. So, good for you. Good job. But this week, G-Hole, me, G-Hole might put it on me. But we'll see. Because, it's getting close to the Stroke Cup.